Hello and welcome to the Hair of the Dog podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Begley. And can you believe this is episode number 100? For today's episode, I am going to dive into the 5 lessons I've learned in business from running my pet photography business for the past 11 years. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Hair of the Dog podcast. If you're a pet photographer ready to make more money and start living a life by your design, you've come to the right place. And now, your host, pet photographer, travel addict, chocolate martini connoisseur, Nicole Begley.
Hey everyone, Nicole here. Welcome back to the Hair of the Dog podcast. I am so incredibly honored that you are here with me. And can you believe it's episode number 100? 100! I really can't believe it. When I started this podcast, gosh, it was right before COVID started. So it was like February 2020. I never really dreamed we would get to 100 episodes so quickly. And I must say, I'm incredibly proud of myself and my team because we haven't missed a week. Now, today's podcast is our 100th episode, and for that, I wanted to do something special. So I thought I would put together the 5 lessons that I've learned in business over the past 11 years. I started my pet photography business. Well, actually, it was a family photography business at the time, back in 2010. And I was doing some pets a little bit on the side. And then it was about 2014, 2015, where I made the switch to go all in, all pets. And yeah, a lot's changed in the past 10 years, but a lot has actually remained the same. So today, I want you to come with me on this journey of the top 5 lessons that I've learned from the past decade. So, are you ready to get started? All right, here we go. Let's start with number 1. Number 1 is the more you charge, the better your clients get. What do I mean by this? Well, let me take you back to 2010, 2011. I was photographing an event. It was like a charity walk kind of thing. And I was photographing the dogs there. And then I had a gallery where people could purchase their images. I was selling these prints for $25 because I can't possibly sell them for my usual $75. And wouldn't you know, I got so many just cranky emails and really not nice messages about how could I possibly charge that much? It's just a picture, blah, 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 going on and on about how I was overcharging. And meanwhile, the message in my head that I really wanted to write back was, well, my usual prints are $75, so... But I didn't. That was quite the lesson, though. And that lesson was that when you discount your work, people don't value it as much as when you are actually selling your work at regular price. The other challenge that I had when I was first starting and my prices were a bit lower is that I would have clients that would basically be trying to direct me. They would be telling me exactly what they want and telling me in detail with Pinterest boards of things that weren't even my style. And not that I really had a style then. My style was just trying to get my images somewhat technically correct. But anyway, it was, they had so many more opinions. But then once I started raising my prices and once I started to really start to hone in on my craft, I still didn't have a defined style by that point. That actually took a good 6 years to really start to evolve my style, maybe even 7 or 8 to really start dialing it in. But even way before that, when I was producing good work, it was technically correct, and I had started raising my prices, and I was starting to become a little bit more known, to have a little bit of awareness in the market, I stopped getting those clients that would tell me exactly what they want. Why? Because they trusted in what I could do for them. They saw me more as the expert instead of seeing me as someone they're hiring for something they want and they need to direct it. So that was a huge wake-up call. And really, I try not to ever discount my photography services because when you discount, that tends to bring these kind of value seekers that maybe don't value what you're doing. They don't see you as much as an artist, as much as someone that, can direct this whole vision and create for them what they love, which is images like what they're seeing on your website. So if you're going to create a special offer, I really encourage you not to have it as a discount, but instead make it a value add. Something like where they still pay your full session fee, but maybe they get an extra product credit, or they get the special bonus, or they get a digital file bonus of any artwork that they purchase. Something like that, because that just sends a different message to your potential clients than when you discount. When you discount, they see sale, sale, sale. They see it should be cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. And they don't see you as much as a professional, as an artist, as they don't trust in your vision as much as when you keep your prices a bit higher. All right, that is number one. The more you charge, the more awesome your clients become. All right, number two. This is a big one, and that is your images don't sell themselves. Yep, I said it. I see so many pet photographers, and really photographers in general, that believe that all they need to do is create amazing artwork, amazing images, and their clients are just going to find them and fill up their calendar. And I really hate to break it to you, but it doesn't work that way. You have to market your business. You have to connect with your potential clients. Now, I know you're going to say, hey, but Nicole, there's a couple of photographers out there that have just built an incredible business only on social media. And I'm going to say, yes, anything is possible. And if you look at how they use social media, they are using social media very differently than most photographers. They are using social media to share a message, to create an emotional connection, to share stories, to create this connection with their clients in which their clients can't help but move forward and want to create that experience for themselves. They are not just taking a pretty picture, putting it up there and saying, hey, this is fluffy, we had a great time. They are connecting on a much deeper level, which brings us to number 3, which is marketing is simple. Now, it's not easy, but it is simple. Basically, marketing is getting awareness of your business and then nurturing that awareness, those relationships, and making offers. Now, how do we do that? We do that by connection. We do that by actual human-to-human connection. You guys, I hear you. I hear you in the back saying, Nicole, got into pet photography because I really don't like the humans. All right, when was the last dog that had a checkbook that you saw? Not many. Okay, maybe a couple Insta-famous dogs that have their own checking account. But they're few and far between, and their adults are still making, their humans are still making their decisions. So no matter where the money's coming from, you need to go through a human. And to do that, humans need to know, like, and trust us. So to do that, we need to actually be out there connecting with other humans. I see a lot of photographers grasping at straws, trying to find the best marketing solution, the right marketing solution. But guess what? That doesn't exist. There is no best or right marketing solution. Marketing is really a culmination of a whole bunch of different things. I think everyone wants to have this perfectly laid out plan of take this picture, post it here, make this offer, make this connection, do this particular promotion, and your calendar is going to be full. But there's so much more that goes into it. There are these human elements. And really, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, we're also a personal brand. Like it or not, people need to connect with you as the artist, because unless you're running this big photography studio with various different photographers, then that becomes more of the brand. But when it's just you running this photography business and you're the sole artist, I hate to break it to you, but that's a personal brand. And a personal brand needs to make personal connections. So here's my homework for you. I want you to get really comfortable. And it's going to be uncomfortable at first, but I want you to get really comfortable with being able to own who you are and what you do. I want you to be able, when somebody says, what do you do? Instead of shrinking down to saying, oh, I'm a photographer, like every other like aunt and friend, and they know 37,000 other photographers. Own it. I want you to say, oh, I'm a pet photographer. I create beautiful custom wall art for people to celebrate their relationship with their dog. Whatever it is. Figure out what that little elevator speech is and own it and say it everywhere. When you see a cute dog, introduce yourself and give them a card. Like that's the kind of stuff that is required to grow our business. When I see photographers of all genres, this is not just for pet photography. This is whether you want to have a successful human photography business, family, newborns, high school seniors, pets, equine, whatever it is. The people that are successful are the people that make connections in their market. They make connections with other businesses. They make connections with charities. They make connections with just regular humans. They are just out there unashamed of what they do and sharing it wherever they can. And as that awareness grows, they are automatically the go-to photographer for that genre in their market, because so many more people are aware and they know that person as a person. So how can you do that? Again, talking to people in your market, on your social media, don't just post pictures of dogs, put yourself on there. What is your profile picture on your social media accounts? Is it you or is it a photo of a dog? I venture to say 93.7% of you have a picture of a dog or a camera, or on your about page. Here's a good one. On your about page of your website, is there a picture of you? And no, it doesn't count if it's a picture of you with a camera in front of your face. Is there a picture of your face on your website? So if I were walking down the street, I could see you and say, hey, I know that person. The other thing that you could put on your website to really just start to grow that know, like, and trust factor is some video of you, your face, talking to the camera. Oh my gosh, Nicole, I'm so scared to do that. Yeah. But this is what we need to do if you want to grow your business. If you want some tips on how to use video without feeling slimy, without feeling weird or bad, go listen to episode number 45 of this podcast. And that's a conversation I had with Andrew Helmich from PhotoBizX on using video to book more clients. And it was chock full of incredible advice. So definitely don't miss that one. And in the meantime, go change that picture on your about page, get out there in the market, and start owning what you do, telling people what you do, who you serve, how you help. All right, number 4. No one has a successful business without integrity. Yeah, different kinds of integrity. I know that you have integrity with your clients. You're not out there swindling them, because I know you guys. You guys are serving at your highest level and you want to give your clients the best possible experience. Get that. Awesome. That's the one half of integrity. What about the other half of integrity? And that's self-integrity. How many times do you say you're going to reach out to that partner business and talk about a joint marketing venture, and then something else comes up and you don't do it? How many times do you say that you're going to put that video on your website and then you don't do it? How many times do you say that you're going to go out and shoot that personal project and then it never gets started? These are the pieces of self-integrity. And these are, I think, 98% correlated. This is not an official study. It is a study of just my thoughts. But it is highly correlated to finding success. And that is having that self-integrity, which is doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. And again, being integral to other people is a lot easier because we have these social norms. We don't want to disappoint people. We know that is good customer service. So that's a lot easier. But I want you to go through the next week and try to see where, heck, even a day, go through a day and try to take note of where you've said you're going to do something and then you don't. Where you say you're going to work out in the morning and then you don't. Okay, guilty. Guilty. I could definitely use some more self-integrity there. It's hard. It is hard. I think it is one of the hardest things we can possibly do, but it can also have some of the biggest rewards. Because here's the thing. When we routinely fail at our self-integrity and we routinely let ourselves off the hook for things we say we're going to do, two things happen. Number one, our subconscious mind starts to not trust ourselves. You know how that happens. There's someone in your life that always says they're going to do something and they never actually do it. And then they say they're going to do it and you just really don't believe them at all because they've said this for years and decades and it's never happened. Well, that's what happens inside your own mind when you continually don't follow through on the things you say you're going to do, that self-integrity pieces. The other thing that happens is once your mind starts to go there, and you're routinely not following through with the things you say you're going to do, not only are you now inside your mind not trusting yourself or not believing that you can follow through, but you're also starting to kind of train your mind to tell yourself that you're not worthy of the success that you are seeking because you can't even follow through with doing a morning workout. You can't even follow through with your personal project. Insert whatever it is here that you've been putting off. So truly, not having the self-integrity is just insidious, and we don't see the ramifications that has. So please, I implore you, know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to get Coach Heather Lottinen, our tough love mindset coach here at Hair of the Dog, to come on and do a podcast episode with me about self-integrity. So stay tuned. That'll be coming. I'm headed out of town for a workshop for the next few weeks, but when I come back, we will definitely get that scheduled. But anyway, self-integrity. Actually, I have a quick story, and that leads us into number 5, which is asking for help. But let's go back to this podcast. This is podcast episode number 100, which truly, you guys, I am so incredibly proud of myself because like everyone else, I too struggle with self-integrity. Let's hear me out here. When I am preaching the self-integrity thing, I am not doing it from a place of like, oh, I've got it all figured out and I've got this down, so you should too. And no, it's a constant battle. I am constantly trying to hold myself more accountable to my own self-integrity as well. It is practice that gets a little bit easier with time, but none of us are perfect. We all are human. So have some grace for yourself as well. But anyway, back to this podcast. When I started this podcast, I was committed to making sure it came out once a week. I didn't want it to be like, oh, I drop an episode and then, oh, like a month later, oh, and then 2 weeks and then here and there. And then eventually it just kind of would not really happen so much anymore. I'm sure you guys can relate. I don't know, maybe in relation to like blog posting on your photography website. But anyway, I digress. When I started, I wanted to make that commitment. And we've kept that commitment up. And I knew myself and how busy I was and all the other irons in the fire that I had, that if I was to have any hope of keeping that commitment, I needed to set it up in a way that once I recorded these episodes, it was done. My work was done. I didn't have to do anything else to bring these episodes to life. And I was able to set it up in a way that once I record it, this gets sent off to my team and my team manages the entire process on the back end. And I am so incredibly thankful for them. So they're all listening to this right now because most of them have a part in getting this out there. So thank you, team. I love you guys. Truly, I couldn't do this without them. So that brings us to success principle number 5, and that is asking for help. There is not a successful person on the planet doing anything, photography or otherwise, that has not asked for help, that doesn't surround themselves with people that bring them up instead of tearing them down. This is so important. And I understand that most of you guys are solopreneurs. So you're running a business and it's just you. But can you get help in other ways? Can you hire a housekeeper? Can you get some help if you have little kids? I started my business with a newborn and a 3-year-old. And I was building this business with toddlers. And yeah, they keep you busy. The big thing that changed for me is I started to get really much more productive with the time that I had. Before I had kids, I could spend, all day doing this or doing that. And I still find myself sometimes falling into that trap if I don't have a hard deadline in front of me. The kids go to school and I'm like, kind of working all day, but then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I did nothing today. And then I get upset at myself because I'm like, if I was going to take the day off, I should just take the day off and actually enjoy it, not pretend work. So that's still a struggle that I think we all continue to deal with because that's just human nature, that the task at hand will expand to fill whatever time is available. So when I had 2 little kids, my time was limited. So it was always a constant deadline, got to do this, deadline, got to do this. So I was able to be much more productive. But one of the things I did was asking for help. I didn't have the income in my business at that point to afford to put my kids in like full-time childcare or even like twice a week childcare because y'all, childcare is expensive. But what I could do is there was a church not too far from us that had a little drop-in childcare. And so I would take the kids there. It was like $6 an hour per child. And they would go there for a bit for like 2 or 3 hours. And I could get an amazing amount of work done. I would also, this is terrible, don't tell them. Our grocery store had like a childcare. So I would go to the grocery store with my computer, take the kid to the little childcare, and then I'd head over to the cafe that's in the grocery store. I never left the premises and would do a little bit of work. And then I'd go pick up my kid and then I'd grocery shop. So I'm like, I can grocery shop with my kid. That's easy. I can't work with my child around. But anyway, so ask for help. If you are not in the time of life with little small humans running around your house, I know you're still busy and I know you still have a ton of commitments. So if you find yourself strapped for time in your photography business, what are some ways that you can get help? Can you outsource some editing? Things like that are great because you're not bringing on like a team member that's expecting regular work. You can just outsource when you have work that you want to outsource or when you get busy, like busy fall season, you can pick up the outsourcing for that. Like I said, you can get help around your house, either a housekeeper or just even order your groceries online and just pull in and pick them up there, or do the Amazon Whole Foods delivery groceries. Instacart has saved my life for the past couple years. I don't know how I lived without it. It's just so convenient and saves so much time. So look for different places like that you can save time so that you can focus on your work and be a little bit more productive and get things done so you can still enjoy your day-to-day, because that's really why we do this, right? I think for myself, at least, and I know a lot of other photographers and other entrepreneurs got into the businesses we're in because we were looking for freedom. But to get to that freedom, I feel like we all go through this spot of complete and total lack of freedom, of going to Starbucks and looking at like the Starbucks baristas and thinking to myself, man, that must be really nice to just come to work and then go home and not think about it. Has anyone else done that? Have any of you just been out and about and you're like dreaming of, oh, like an hourly job would be great? No, it actually wouldn't. I know I would not like that so much after just a little bit that for all of the trials and tribulations of this entrepreneurial journey, it is definitely where I need to be, but it can be overwhelming. I hope you guys have enjoyed these 5 lessons that I've learned in business. Just to recap, number 1, the more you charge, the better your clients are. Number 2, art is not going to fill your calendar for you. You actually need to market. Number 3, marketing really is very simple. Number 4, integrity, absolutely critical, especially self-integrity. And number 5, ask for help. I should really add on to that 5th one, that asking for help. The asking for help, I think, actually comes into 2 different areas. Asking for help with your day-to-day, like we just talked about. And I think the other half of that asking for help is asking for help in the forms of education and mentorship. I think that is also an absolutely critical piece of the puzzle. You guys, I can't even tell you how much money I've spent on education in the past 11 years. It's a lot. I still pay for coaching. I pay to be part of a mastermind group. I still purchase courses. The learning never stops. And I implore you, implore you, if you have the goal of creating a pet photography business, or even just really improving your pet photography for whatever reason, whether you want to make money with it or not, I just implore you to seek help, to seek educational help. And, courses are great, but if you're doing courses, make sure they have some sort of live component. For instance, even in the Hair of the Dog Academy, we have our office hours and laser coaching and critique corners and shooting challenges where people can get feedback on what they're working on, because it's impossible to do this alone. Okay, I guess nothing's impossible. It is drastically 8,000 times more difficult, again, making up numbers, to do this on your own than seeking help. And the help is out there. And, whether it's Hair of the Dog Academy or some other coach or mentorship program or content course, whatever works for you, I just want you guys to seek some help, which will help you reach your goals so much faster. All right, everybody. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for joining us on these 100 episodes. I can't wait to see what the next 100 episodes brings. And have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. If you enjoyed this podcast episode, go ahead and take a screenshot of this episode on your phone and post it up there on your Instagram stories, and be sure to tag us at Hair of the Dog Academy. And we would just love to see how you're listening. And full disclosure, sometimes we just like to give away a little pet photographer swag in the form of Hair of the Dog t-shirts and sweatshirts. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and share that screenshot of this episode, and don't forget to tag us at Hair of the Dog Academy. And while you're there, maybe you want to jump on over to our account and see what we're up to on the gram. Would love to connect with you. Thanks for listening to the Hair of the Dog podcast. If you want to check out the show notes for access to any of the links that we shared in this episode, as well as any additional related resources, simply go to www.hairofthedogacademy.com/100. 100! Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Anyway, once again, that's www.hairofthedogacademy.com/100.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Hair of the Dog podcast. If you enjoyed this show, please take a minute to leave a review. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming episodes. One last thing, if you are ready to dive into more resources, head over to our website at www.hairofthedogacademy.com. Thanks for being a part of this pet photography community.